Hey kids, welcome to another episode of Viejo Wargaming. This week, or this episode, what I'm going to look at is some terrain actually. I recently picked up some terrain from Frontline Gaming. For those that don't know, they put on events for 40K and Age of Sigmar, a lot of more non historical games. Their Las Vegas Open, which comes up in January every year, they do put on Bolt Action, Flames of War, Team Yankee, and usually whatever games people want to play if there's someone willing to play it or run it, and if there's people that will attend it. But in any case, they make terrain mainly for 40K, but I do have some terrain, and they make colored terrain, MDF boards, which is the latest thing. So what I have is I ordered their MCP, Marvel Crisis Protocol terrain set, because I plan to build a table for basically city fights, but modern cities. So that's what these are. I only ordered one, but it came in 4 packages, which seems like a lot. And when I put these together, we'll see what it looks like. So we'll see how hard it is for me to put it together. I'll put the links in the description if you're looking to get something similar. If you happen to also play 40K or know someone that does, they do make terrain pieces that are pre-painted. Before we go any further, please know that I do judge 40K events for Frontline Gaming, if that influences your feeling about the video, and I also write some articles for them once in a while. But in any case, let's get to building. See how it works out. Okay, so I built all the models. As you can tell, I am wearing a different shirt, so it did take a few days. I had to find time in between all the other stuff I do to build the models. There is a place for directions. The pack does not come with directions, and from what I understand, or from what I've seen, most of the frontline MDF products do not come with directions. There's a QR code to scan, and you can get the directions from there. You can also get the directions by clicking a link on the description of the product on their website, and they'll take you to the directions. Directions are pretty straightforward. It's not that difficult. There's not that many pieces, and once you see the direction, it kind of all fits together. And for me, especially if I'm building more than one model of the same type, once I build the first one, I kind of don't need the directions for any subsequent pieces. So we'll start with the little pieces. It comes with a bunch of scatter terrain, things like the stop sign. The funny thing is the backside shows stop backwards, so it's hilarious. You get a couple of those. Pretty straightforward to put together. You get a couple of street lights, as you can see. Pretty straightforward. Both one-sided and double-sided. You get 2 of each. They weren't that hard. They took less than 10 minutes for each one. Initially, I did use super glue. I felt that that was better because of the painted material. I later switched to the wood glue or Elmer's glue, whatever you use for your MDF, and it seemed to be just as good. The only difference was the super glue dried a lot quicker, so I could build pieces within a day or within 10-15 minutes. When I used the wood glue, it took a little longer because it needed time to set, but at the same time I didn't get glue stuck to my fingers like I did while I was building them. And at the same time, it was easier to fix mistakes if you made any mistakes while building the model. The other pieces I got, especially among the scattered terrain, was a couple of billboards. They do say Oscorp on them because it's built for MCP, a Marvel Crisis Protocol, but that's neither here nor there. It's not that big of a deal. They also had a couple of crates. Not a couple, it was about 4 crates. Again, fairly straightforward. They're just little boxes. The little trash cans, which I thought were neat. Recycle, because it is 2023 now at the time of this recording. The gas station was actually pretty cool. A little pump, as you can see. And then the gas station itself. Petrol, the little dinosaur. Thank you for your sacrifice. We also have dumpsters, which I wasn't too sure about putting these together, how would they look, but they actually look pretty good. I was very surprised how they came out, and I'm sure they'll look natural in the setting. The other small buildings I got was a coffee shop. It does give you the option of using either a large window like this or just a small window. because the other one is the deli, which looks like this, and it's basically the same kit, but you get one of each. So you can either give it the big window or the two smaller windows. With the coffee shop, I felt the big window would work better, and then with the deli, I felt this construction spoke as a deli more to me than the other fabric or the other stonework. It's the same thing with the. They also come with a newsstand and a flower shop. Same thing. Everything's actually the same. The only difference is the color of the shop. This was more brick. This was more covered over stucco, I guess you could, or whatever you want to call it. And I felt this felt more like a florist shop, as this more of a like a newsstand. Then last but not least are the two big pieces. The first one is the bank. Actually came out pretty good. The only thing was it was missing the scaffolding when it came with. So I may have to scratch build something or just leave it because probably won't see it if it comes up. Another thing I want to mention is the lettering, like bank, flower, deli, coffee shop. Those come as separate, and you can tell that it's kind of thin, especially if you look at the other ones. So and especially on the window pane, so they may break. So you got to be really careful with them. The bank one actually broke at the K, where the angle meets the right here. But luckily, I was able to glue it back, so you don't even notice that it had broken. Luckily, I was able to get all the other stuff out without them breaking. The other big piece is the apartment building, the 2-story apartment. Looks pretty good with the scaffolding on the back, on the front. It wasn't. Once you look at the instructions, it doesn't. It's not that hard to build, to be honest. The really trick is getting the doors and the windows in and staying, which is why I started using the super glue instead of the wood glue. I switched to the wood glue because I actually ran out of the super glue, and the difference I felt was the difference in that. Although it didn't set as fast as the super glue, the wood glue allowed me better positioning, and if I made a mistake, it still gave me time to fix the mistake. There were a couple mistakes I made on the bank and I believe it was the deli. I can't recall right now. The bank for sure, I misplaced the door, so and I did that with super glue, so it kind of stuck for a while. So it took a while to get it off, and luckily you can't see it in the final product because it's on the inside. So that's all there was to it. It is a bit pricey. It is, but it is painted for you, which I prefer because I do not enjoy painting MDF terrain. So as more manufacturers create pre-painted MDF, I'm more likely to buy those. And I'm certainly going to use it. Maybe not for MCP because I don't play Marvel Crisis Protocol, but I do have a couple games that are focused on gang fights in like modern settings or around the 70s and 80s. So you may see that in the future. But for now, I'll show a picture. Here, I'll show you a picture of what it looks like on the tabletop with on a board with all the terrain set out. It actually looks pretty good. But and as you can see, it does really evoke a sitting setting when put on a proper table, and it's something I would suggest you try if you really are looking for some type of cityscape. There's other manufacturers also, which I haven't seen yet, but I'll probably try it out to expand, so maybe I can one day have like a whole city's worth of MDF terrain. But for now, it feels about a 3x3, maybe 4x4, definitely a 2x2, depending on the size of your game, just one set. There's a link in the description to their website. They're always running sales and stuff. They also sell other products that you might look at a discount, and I'll also include the directions in that description also. But again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't be sure to like and subscribe because that really gets my numbers up, especially because I'm starting out. And I hope to talk to you guys again.